Good evening, guys. Welcome to another video series with DTMODELART. I'm Dave Thibodeau, your guide or host, and I know it's been a while since we've talked or I've done a video, and I apologize for that, but I've been extremely busy doing builds for customers, some of my own stuff, and just plain busy with life in general, with, my kids, and my son's playing football now, so a lot of my time's been devoted to watching him play and get better at that sport in middle school. But it's time for me to get back into the video realm of things on YouTube and make sure we continue, I can continue giving you tips and showing you things that I do to build models that I do. And our first project is going to be a very, very exciting one, I think. I've done an F1 car before, so now you know what it is. But I apologize, by the way, for the background noise, but I'm out in my garage now, in my workshop, or moved my workshop from the house out into the garage, so I'm out here now. And that's my air conditioning unit that's blasting in the background that is much needed down here in the sunny Florida state here. So, but anyways, let's get to it. The new project is going to be this wonderful kit right here. The new Tamiya, or fairly new Tamiya, 1/20th scale Ferrari SF70H, driven by the Sebastian Vettel of in Formula One for Ferrari. And this is a gorgeous kit. And what this video is about today is basically a orientation of what I'm going to be doing to this thing, how I'm going to be building it, what paints I'm going to be using, and what extras, if any, am I going to be adding. I will tell you right up front, the extras I'll be adding are pretty much minimal. I really wanted to build this one out of the box. I may add some additional carbon fiber to the front wing in areas that Tamiya doesn't give you decals for, but for the most part, like many Tamiya kits, this thing is pretty complete. They give you pretty much everything you need to do the kit. So let's take a peek inside the box on this video and see what we got in store here. I was real excited when I heard that this kit was coming out, and as usual, Tamiya they just don't disappoint. This is your wonderful instructions, typical instructions for Tamiya, step by step, very clear what colors to use. It's just quality here. Like I've always said with Tamiya, you cannot go wrong with their kits. They're engineered so well. The Japanese are just excel at that stuff. I'm real happy, by the way, that they're coming out with a lacquer paint line too. So maybe we'll get into that later. But also, they even give you an additional background information on the car. On the car that tells you everything about it. How it was built, a lot of the specific specifications of the car. Really good stuff. So definitely a good read right here for the model that's going to start this kit. This is the only thing that bothers me still about Tamiya and a lot of manufacturers is why, oh why, don't you just mold everything in white? It's the most neutral color, easiest color to cover. If you want to make a color change, wouldn't be something I would do on a kit like this because I'm going to build this thing accurate to the race car. But a lot of kits out there are molded in a color, and it's just red is the worst. If you want to change the color on, say, a muscle car or a sports car, and it's molded in red, good luck. It's going to be fun because the red is the worst pigment to try to cover. It bleeds so easy. But luckily this car is red, so I'm not really worried about it so much. But why? You know what I mean? Luckily there's some white parts, so the parts that are painted white, Tamiya was smart enough to do in white, which will make it a lot easier. If I had to do these are molded in red as well, like a lot of kits that they don't foresee that, you'd have a problem. You could have a problem on your hands, especially if you're using hotter lacquer paints. Not so much acrylics; they usually do really well, or enamels. But if you're still using those, that's fine. But if it's a lacquer like I like to use, painting over white or painting over parts white that are colored in red or another color, not easy. Now, what's neat about this kit is Tamiya gives you masks to mask off the body panels. Great, love it. Love it that they do that. along with some beautiful carbon fiber decals that are incorporated right in the kit. They have the right oversized pattern and different patterns. Beautiful. I love the way they do that. These are great. Having masks are incredibly awesome, but you got to cut every one of these out, every single one of them, with a sharp hobby knife. And gosh, don't go over the lines or whatever, because then your mask isn't going to line up perfectly. Man, it wouldn't be neat if they just made these pre-cut for you? Well, don't worry, because Gravity Colors does. They take the exact same sheet, duplicate it, and then they make them pre-cut, so you can just peel these right off of here, good to go. So I recommend you get a set of these from Gravity Colors USA. Speaking of Gravity Colors, these will be the paints of choice on this car. We got the light gray primer surfacer, which is GC320. This is what I'll be using to prime my pieces after I do any kind of body work, when I run into any kind of seams I got to fill and such, and I want to check them. This will be my sealer or primer that I'll be using on the base of the entire car. Then I'll be basing everything in titanium white, so that the red that I'm going to be using, the Rosa SF70H Gravity Colors red, has a nice bright base to go over, so it's the true red color, so it'll be nice and bright and it'll pop. So that's the colors I'll be using on this kit, along with other ones. I'm going to be using some various colors. I'll also be using some acrylics from John Tamkin at Mission Models as well. I've got a huge array of his stuff as well that he sent me, which this stuff is great. It's acrylic and it's really durable. I'm really happy with it so far. I've been testing them out quite a bit. But again, they give you the fantastic decal sheet here. I mean, look at this. I mean, it's just beautiful. Speaking of carbon fiber, on this kit itself, you guys, if you remember quite a few videos ago, a couple of years now I think it's been, I did the Ebro McLaren, the Alonso car, and I did a lot of carbon fiber additions to that car that didn't come in the Ebro kit at all. If you remember, I made a lot of templates and such. And I got criticized a little bit on that build, because even though my carbon fiber work was really nice and it was real glossy, that was the problem. A lot of carbon fiber on these F1 cars is not super glossy. Therefore, on this one, I want to concentrate on making sure that the finish on the various parts are finished with the correct shine or sheen to them that would be on the real car, because I think that'll really add a huge amount of realism to the scale fidelity of the model itself. So I'll be concentrating on that for sure, guys, and making sure I get that right. A little bit of seams on these tires, but they're wonderfully molded, beautiful. Looks like there's a few screws and some poly caps, and of course they give you the, I got a million of these little screwdrivers laying around. But then there's some parts that are molded in black, which is fine, because they are black on the real car, or carbon. The whole under tray and such. It's a fairly simplistic kit. What makes this kit challenging or time consuming is the carbon work, depending on how much you want to do. Again, they're so secretive in F1 with engines. I mean, you get a blob, basically. I mean, so when you glance in there, you'll see a little bit of this. But that's it. You don't get to see the entire engine on these cars, which is fine. I tend to like the curbside versions of these cars anyways a lot better, because everything fits so clean on them that way and they look more realistic. But you want to build an F1 car with an engine, build an older car, because those kits are bountiful out there that have full engines, especially in the 112 scale realm. But I'm really happy to be back, guys. I hope I can keep up with the videos. I'm doing so many things, going so many different directions, and it's still right now holding down a full 40-hour-a-week job. So, I'll do my best to get these out as quick as possible. Please have patience with me. I'm coming back because I know a lot of the video guys out there have missed the videos that I've done, and they like them, and I enjoy doing them. So that's about it right now. I just wanted to, reintroduce myself. Any new viewers out there, welcome. I hope that you get a lot out of these videos that I do. And feel free to put comments below in the YouTube video on what you like or you don't like. Please keep it strictly to the video we ask. Don't ask us anything else about any other aspects of Gravity Colors or whatever. We just want to stick to getting this thing built and stick to the topic at hand of how I build this. And if you have questions about it, I'll do my best to answer those questions as quick as possible that I can, based on my my workload here. So I really look forward to working with you guys and showing you what I can do with this kit. And we will see you on the next video. This was just an orientation today. Have a good one.